We're going to look at a potentially useful characteristic of faces in SketchUp. So let's make a face, make a rectangle, and let's say I'll push it up here in order to make a number of faces in different orientations, and let's delete a few. Of these. And so you notice that in this particular display style, at least, faces have two sides. There's one side that has this white bright color, the other side has this gray blue color. So faces actually have two sides, and you can use your paint bucket tool and choose a material . There we go. To paint one side of a face. So if you can paint one side of a face and paint the other side differently, then potentially you could use a translucent material like safety glass and make a face that's translucent. So now we can see Sue through this side, but the other side of the face is still opaque. Sue could be inside the police interview room, and detectives on one side are watching her while she's looking at a blank wall. This is really kind of nice, because then you can in fact create a custom material. Let's see, I want to create a material. I'm going to call it transparent 5. I'll set the opacity to 5. There it is. And I'll use this here. I'm not using an opacity of 0, mainly because I do want to know that there's something there. And so I'm going to have just a little hint of fog. So what's this good for? Why would I actually want to have something that's essentially a window on one side and then a solid wall on the other? Well, here then I have a model of a house. It has a floor plan. Let's get rid of the floor plan. There. A model of a house that has walls and so on. And if I were to place my point of view on the inside of the house and look around, then, well, there's no ceiling. And that's kind of unrealistic. I'd like to have a ceiling on it. So what we can do is we can use our line tool and trace out a ceiling. And so now I'm on the inside of the house, and look, there's a ceiling. That's very nice. The ceiling effect is pretty good, except of course that when I want to look at my house from the top, I can't see any of the walls. So I would like to have the flexibility of being able to see both. So in that case, what I'll do is I'm going to take my material here, I'll call it transparent-5, set this at 5, so I'm going to create a new material. There. Wow, looks like transparent 5 worked on both sides. I don't like that. Oh, and hit a few other things. Well, forget that. So I'm going to take this surface, I'm going to move it up a little bit. I'm going to use my transparent 5 material, and I'm going to make the top surface of my ceiling transparent. I would like the bottom surface of my ceiling, which oddly enough came out transparent, I would like that part to be opaque. White, in fact. So transparent on one side, white on the other. I like this so much that I'm going to select all connected. I'm going to make it into a group. Move it back down here. And so now when I'm looking at my house from the top, then it's transparent. The ceiling is transparent and I can see everything. If I place my guy on the inside here and look around, then I have a real ceiling, which is kind of nice. Now there is a problem with this, in that from this point on, I have to remember that I do have this ceiling object here, because as you can see, as I'm clicking on the walls and the doors and such like, I'm not able to select anything. I'm still selecting the ceiling object. Here I've hit the edge of a wall, and so now I have my wall group. But really, the ceiling object is still interposing itself between my cursor and everything underneath it, so I cannot manipulate anything under this under the ceiling. And if I were to use my placement guy and place it here, it actually places me on top of the ceiling. It doesn't place me down here, which is where I want to be. So, just so you know that this is a useful effect. It's possible to change the transparency of a face, and that you can have different levels of transparency for two sides of a face, which is kind of nice.